Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. On my way home from the gym, it's 5 kilometers from where I live here in Greece. So on sunny days when I have the time, I walk home to catch the big guy, get some steps in, and today I'm recording a video as well. That's a quick opti tidbit for you, by the way. The better you use your time, the more time you have, the more you can multitask, the more time you have. Most of the time when people say I don't have time to train, you know, it's not that they don't have time, they're not making time. Just FYI. Okay, today we're gonna be talking about how to not mess up your refeeds on the snake diet when you're fasting. Because it's something I've seen a lot. There are a lot of people, they can go through with the fast, but then they mess it up either by binging on the refeed day or just overeating for the days to come. So, you know, enough days and it will stack up and they've, caught up on the deficit they got from the fast, right? So it's really very, very, very simple. You gotta know your macros, you gotta know your calories, proteins, fats, and carbs. You gotta have a nutrition plan. You gotta know how many meals from what foods do I get these macros. And then you just gotta stick to that. It seems very simple, right? But it is stupid simple what works. It's no big, medical, highly advanced plan you need to have. It's very simple. It's just that you gotta have the plan and you gotta do it. This is what I do for my clients, you know. My nutrition plans are very, very simple. But I know this is all there is to it. Just follow it. So, I've talked about that before. I have a video that's called something like Build Your Fasting Muscle. Something like that. That fasting is a skill. It's kind of weird to think of it like that not eating is a skill. But, you know, the more fasting you've done and not screwed up in between by binging on junk food and stuff, just the easier it gets. Like the less hunger issues you have, the higher energy you have, the better your sleep works, everything. You get better at it. So one thing I can remember from earlier on when I was fasting was that on the days of breaking the fast, I could feel the urge to binge. Now I've sort of, how do you say that? Like I've gotten used to breaking fast the way I do, so I don't overeat. And I didn't back then either, but what I'm saying is I felt that inclination to keep eating even after I was done. But how I got to this point was that I have my nutrition plan. I know the macros I want to be eating, right? Even when I start a fast, let's say I do a 3-day fast, I know exactly when I'm going to break it with exactly what foods and how many calories and what macros are in there. So if I eat that meal, even if I'm hungry, now it's still easier to stop because I know that this was it. This was the meal, you know, the box has been ticked. So it doesn't matter what I feel then. But a lot of people, they kind of, I think I will break it with like this. They don't really have a big picture plan. And then it's so easy when you like trigger the appetite, like I'm getting to eat, and I'll just have a bit more. I'll just have a bit more. And then depending on how bad of a food addict you are, now you might have started a binge or at the very least like ate more than you should have. So you're immediately negating some fat loss from the fast, right? Then it's also, some people, they focus just too much on the fasting aspect. Of course, if you are losing weight using prolonged fasting, the actual weight loss, the big deficit comes from the fast, but it's equally as important to stay on point with the food between the fasts for many reasons, for health and feeling good, to fuel your training. You gotta train too. That's another thing. Too many people, they focus on the fasting because it's kind of lazy at the point, I just have to do nothing, but you should be, even if we're talking physique and fat loss goals, you should be training, lifting weights too, but just for general health, of course. But you gotta focus. If you are someone with not so good habits, and to be honest, a lot of the time the habit is that there is no real habit. There's no exact pattern to the way you're eating. This is something you gotta change. And the fasting is a great tool for this, because not only will you get that fat loss from it, but if you do it right with the refeeds, you are resynthesizing your taste buds so that you enjoy whole foods more, and you're becoming more insulin sensitive. You're not gonna crave to be eating as often. Gradually, this will happen as you pull off more fast and then stay on point with your food. So this is what I do always. I know Always when I've done a fast, I know, okay, I'm gonna break it at like 11 a.m. with this food, this food, this food, and this food. Then I'll go train, and then again at 3, I'll be eating this food, this food, this food, this food, and then I'll do blah, 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 and then I have a third meal with this, 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 and this, and this will be 3,300 calories with this much protein, blah, blah, blah. I know exactly. And that's why, at this point, like I said, my fasting muscle is swole. My fasting muscle is jacked as fuck. But earlier on, this was what made me get to here. That I had this. You have like the plan on the paper, mustn't literally be written down on the paper, but you understand, you know what to do, so that even when you feel like doing something else, now, you know, it's a safety net in a sense. It's not wide open, like, oh, I didn't say what I was gonna do, so I can eat more. It's kind of like a training program, you know. If it's there on the paper, like, okay, 3 sets of 10 of this, and 3 sets of 8 of this, you know. Even if you're tired, you know, okay, but this is the shit that needs to be done. Let's see, is there anything more we want to add? I guess I can talk a little bit about that, you know, because I've been big, especially on my Instagram lately, that you gotta know your macros and you gotta have a nutrition plan to get optimal goals. Like, if you want to get to a specific destination, like if you were talking geography, you're gonna go to a location where you've never been. You wouldn't just start wandering aimlessly and hope to get there. You would have a very specific plan you follow, right? It's the same. If you're gonna get ripped, want to lose weight, build muscle, you can't just, like, you know, do whatever and hope to end up there. Like for someone with complete crap habits and they just do some lifestyle changes, yeah, that will yield a certain little change. But if you want to get the true result, you gotta have a true plan like that. And you know, I had one video I made a couple of months ago or something about macros and that. And there's some genius comments. This is so typical, you know, that like, oh, human beings are the only animal that counts the calories. I don't think it's natural. Blah, 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 blah. It's such a moronic statement, you know, because of course, and I talked about that, I even addressed that in that video, but of course, in our natural state, if we're just living in a little tribe in the forest and we're kind of hunter-gatherers, yeah, we wouldn't count calories and we would probably, you know, have a decent amount of muscle mass and be quite ripped, like kind of low body fat naturally. But we've been corrupted by society, and then we have to use these kind of mechanical tools. And talking about, oh, the only animal that counts the calories, yeah, well, we're the only animal that counts anything, so I guess we shouldn't use math at all then, because the other animals don't do it. So stupid. But what we end up with is, someone like myself, I have done all of this. I have counted calories a lot, but what ends up happening is, I've called it that I'm Mr. Miyagi people with this, that when you for long enough count your calories, you follow a certain, like say a 16-8 fasting, intermittent fasting with 3 meals, you know, you have the same sort of meals you cycle through, you know, you're gonna end up just knowing, instead of thinking of it in numbers as much, you're gonna just know the amount of food you need. And so for me, it is that at this point, I kind of count calories without counting. Like, I don't go like to a T, put it in an app for myself or something that I have my clients do, but I check in here and there, and I am almost, you know, I'm eating around 3,500 calories per day right now. I have very high energy expenditure. And if I just ballpark what I eat on a day, I will end up right like plus minus 100 calories, you know. So you get there eventually. But when you are corrupted through just food being so very available, and you've eaten all these hyper-processed junk food that have completely disrupted your natural cravings and hunger signals, you gotta use these mechanical tools as counting calories for a while. Then gradually you get there. So this is how I work with clients. Like I said, keep it stupid simple. It's nothing very extraordinary you have to do. It's just that you gotta do it. You gotta have a plan. You gotta know. I put all my clients, that what I give them, it's like these are the macros, these are the calories, these are the macros, here's the intermittent fasting window, here's the meal frequency, the amount of meals, here's the long fast we do. If we do that, I don't do that with all clients. That's it. Go. And then we discuss it, you know, if they slip up, blah, 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 we discuss, and we might change, but it's keep it simple, guys. And then the more advanced you get with the fitness, you know, then we can sort of like really fine-tuning things, especially with training, to be honest. But as someone, just a normal person looking to get quite fit, it's very, very simple what you gotta do. You just gotta do it. You gotta know your macros, you gotta have a nutrition plan. Especially on refeed days after a fast, but after the days to come as well. So please guys, leave a comment. What did you think? All comments and likes help support the channel, so you can comment anyway. Appreciate it a lot. You can contact me for coaching. Still working, updating the website, but it's in there. There is a contact form, but you can also send me a message on Instagram. It's all in the description. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscles, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, mindset. It's a mindset, guys. You gotta have a plan. Peace.